So you don't have a car, you're trying to be a little more economic, your car broke down, maybe walking is just a little bit too slow and exercising just isn't as fun. So you should try something new. I'm not here to persuade you to do it, but if you're gonna try skateboarding, you're gonna need to know a little bit about the parts. By the end of today, you'll know how to put together an entire skateboard and know all of its parts. I'm gonna show you how to put all of the pieces together, but first, let's go through each of the parts right now. When choosing a deck, you have to consider the shapes. Each style of skateboarding has a different shape. So, for example, you might have a freestyle deck, a vert deck. Today, I think we're just going to be starting with a cruiser. So I'll use this coffin cruiser, which is a coffin-shaped skateboard that you basically just use to cruise around and enjoy the ride. Below that and attached by 8 little bolts are the trucks, made up of the base plates, hangers, bushings, nuts, bolts, and the kingpin. Those yellow things are rails we'll use in the video, but not on the board. The bearings are the magical little pieces that get this thing rolling. If we throw in some risers, wheels, and grip tape, we're ready to go. So the first thing you need to do is grip your skateboard. This way your feet stick to the board. You don't slip off or something. Grip tape typically comes in a black strip, and that's kind of boring, so I'm going to throw some designs in here, maybe some runes, because you guys know me. There's no need to go this crazy on your grip tape, but I decided to have a little bit of fun with it since I was going to see it every single day, every time I use this thing, so we might as well have a little bit of fun. And I sped up the video because this can be a long process. It doesn't need to be. The next step is going to be just putting these pieces onto the skateboard. Some people cut their grip tape, some people just paint on their grip tape, chalk, whatever. So most guys will just take one of their trucks and run it around the side like this, and it shows the outline of the skateboard. Grab your knife, and you kind of have to find the sweet spot with this, where you kind of hold it and gently guide the blade through at about a 45-degree angle, and you'll see it just kind of come straight up. All right, now that I'm done cutting this stuff off, you're gonna take a piece of extra sandpaper and go around it. Make sure it's all sealed down and not too sharp to the touch. And once you're done with that, it should look a little something like this. And after this, we're gonna wanna start assembling the trucks, the wheels, and all of the other parts we need to make this thing roll. Let's do it. So you remember those parts I told you guys about earlier? This is where we're gonna need them all. Go get them. And you're gonna wanna take out both of your hangers and your base plates. Now you're gonna take out the washers. These are the bushings, and they go the flat one on the bottom, the big one on the bottom. Each one slides into a kingpin. And then you place your hanger on top of the base plate. Put your bushings on with the cone up, and you're going to scavenge through all of this stuff that we pulled down earlier and find the right bolt. We're going to go ahead and put that together. Both of our trucks are now assembled. So what we're going to go ahead and do is grab our deck. Take one of your bolts here, your assembled trucks, and you're going to mark out through the bottom where each hole is. We'll get something that looks a little like this. Do that for all 7 of the rest of them. Once all of your bolts are through, you can go ahead and place your trucks on those bolts. But first, let's separate them with independent spacers, because this is kind of a cruiser after all. Your kingpin is always going to be towards the inside, the middle of the deck. We can put our risers on first, and then we'll go ahead and place the trucks right on top of that. I usually start by hand threading them on. Once you have all of those thumb tightened, you're going to go ahead and go in and tighten up each one of these by taking this 3/8 socket onto the small bolts right here. And we're going to have just a normal screwdriver, Phillips head in this case, on the outside, just like that. So you're going to want to hold the Phillips tight and don't let it move. The drill is going to be on tighten, and we're just going to tighten it up. Nice and easy. Do that 7 more times. Now that every one of those is nice and tight, this board is almost ready to go. We're going to tighten these up just a little bit. Don't go too tight. You want to be able to turn. So for tightening your kingpin, which is how you adjust how easy it is to put pressure on one side or the other in order to turn, I would recommend doing this by hand. I am going to use a drill just to make it nice and quick. Yeah, and that is a fairly decent give, but not too wiggly. Next up, we're going to assemble the bearings into the wheels and put the wheels on. Okay, check this out. These are bearings, specifically Bronson G3 bearings. Now, these are some really fast, super sweet little guys, and I like the gold. So, there's a couple of ways that you can go about this. There is the typical way, which is how people usually see doing this in a skate park or whatever. So this is where you take your skateboard, you put it on its side, you set this, or however you want it. I'm going to put the stripe on the outside, and we're going to put this wheel right on here and press down. This technique works just fine. Now, there's a bearing press, and I'm going to use that because it's a lot quicker, it's a lot easier, and it does a lot cleaner of a job. This is a bearing press. Flip this up, load on your bearing, your wheel, and another bearing. Lower it down, press. Just like that, you've got a fully pressed wheel and bearing setup. So we're going to go ahead and put those wheels that we just made right onto the board. Nice and easy. Slide them on all the way through the bearings. You just throw this on with a 13mm socket, and you're good to go. Not too tight. You want it to have a little bit of a gap so that it can still spin. It's all put together, right? And you can skate it like this. You also have the option of throwing on rails. I'm not going to be putting rails on this board, but I just wanted to have those available so that you can find out how. What I do is I put the screws all the way through, and then I'll line them up wherever I want them, hammer them in slightly, and then screw them all the way down. Pretty simple. So now that you've seen how the burrito's made, maybe we wrap it up and you can try to use this information yourself and customize your next ride. So whether you're using it for exercise, fun, or even as a furniture dolly, these lightweight and portable transportation devices are here to stay. Go pick one up. You'll thank me later.